Hi there, this is Matt at State of Flex, and happy Father's Day, everybody. And I thought we'd talk about on Father's Day some pretty excellent mothers. Why? Because I'm going back and looking at James Cameron's filmography, and this time we're talking about this film right here, Aliens. Far better than the first. Aliens, we're talking about today specifically because last month I reviewed the Terminator and I hinted that I would review this film today. The irony of watching a movie that about mothers that doesn't talk about the fatherly aspect at all, kind of humorous to me. But it's something that I wanted to talk to. However, this is a film I've reviewed on my channel before. I'm going to drop down in the description area down below and encourage you to watch my full review of Aliens. This is going to be kind of a speed through, but I wanted to talk about two things that I didn't talk about before. One of those things involves this bad boy right here, which is the nice 4K of the film that's getting a lot of flack online. A lot of hate is being hurled at the 4K transfers of Aliens, The Abyss, and True Lies, and it's because the 4K upscaling also used AI to clean the picture and take away any kind of film noise there could be. And that's something that a lot of people aren't in love with. I will acknowledge the irony of a filmmaker who made two feature-length films about the dangers of AI, using AI to clean his movies, so to speak. But I also think a lot of the vitriol online is kind of misguided. I don't think these movies look bad. The picture is clean, absurdly clean, to the point where I was kind of blown away and I was showing everybody in the house like how amazing it looked. But to say that the Blu-ray version of this film looks better is insane to me. I don't see it. I own the Blu-ray. It's something that I've watched repeatedly. Revisiting this for the first time in 4K on the hard disc, the physical media disc was important to me to have to really make that judgment myself, and I think a lot of this noise online is just that, it's noise. And this is a good transfer. The claims of waxy looking people, I don't see it. I just don't. It looks good to me. And the fact that James Cameron is such a goddamn perfectionist, we should see this coming. It makes sense that he would want a frame that looks absolutely pristine without any evidence of artifice, because that's his whole thing, is bringing a reality to the films that you're watching, even if there's some dopey space stuff going on with it. So I get why he did this, and it doesn't bother me in the least. If it bothers you, and you really want to hold on to the film grain that was part of a transfer that happened so long ago, to maintain that artificial nature to these films, I mean, you still have the Blu-ray. You don't not have it. So I don't see what the problem is, guys. I just don't. But that's one of the two things I wanted to talk about. Speaking to the film itself, I talk about it in my original review. Again, I encourage you to watch it. How much I love this movie. It's absolutely freaking fantastic. Far better than the first film. This is a gut-wrenching, terror-driven film, and even though he doesn't capture horror as well as Ridley Scott, he captures this anguish so much better, and he works tension into the film that is absent in the first Alien. The film is incredibly intense, and it's because you don't want these characters to go, and that's because a lot of these characters, even though some of them are two-dimensional, are characters. You spend a lot of time early in the picture getting to know the Marines. Yes, you know Ripley, but you're getting to know Burke, you're getting to know Frost, you're getting to know Vasquez, so that when Drake and Frost are killed, Frost is a character I really, really liked early on, it's like, oh no, I don't want any of these people to go. I've kind of bonded with these guys. I don't want them to die. And then when it's down just to the core group, you absolutely are rooting for these characters to survive. You don't want them to die, and when like Vasquez gets picked off, it's like just genuinely kind of painful, and it makes you feel this anguish for the rest of the characters. We'll touch on that in a second. The one thing I will acknowledge that I don't think I acknowledged in my previous review, where I talk about some things that didn't necessarily hold up as well, the allegory for the Vietnam War and viewing these aliens as like subhuman. When you apply that to an allegory, it becomes kind of problematic. Another pretty problematic thing is Vasquez herself being played by Jenette Goldstein, a woman in, for lack of a better term, brownface. That's something that doesn't hold up by today's standards. However, that is one of the best performances in this movie. I challenge you to think of 5 things about aliens, just off the cuff, that you absolutely love. One of those 5 things is likely going to be the character of Vasquez. She is great. Her performance is great. You love this character. You love her as this character. By today's standards, it doesn't hold up, and it's something that today we would have cast somebody who is more accurate for that part. But it is a good performance that I thought I'd acknowledge. But what I was saying is this film's capitalization on terror and the anguish that you feel as these characters are getting picked off is largely because Cameron is really always been a filmmaker who tells love stories. This is something he talks about. I think, in fact, it's on one of his commentaries. I think it might even be the Aliens commentary. But all of his films are essentially love stories. You had in the Terminator, and this is something I didn't talk about in that film, I was kind of saving for this film and I'll be acknowledging moving forward. You have with the Terminator a love story. And if I were to compare it to anything, it would be a fairy tale. The Terminator is a fairy tale romance. This white knight coming in to be a savior and pull this woman out of her life into a completely different world. And the difference being is this girl isn't just a fairy princess, she is somebody with her own agency and is able to meet this new world with drive and force, and she's able to have this fairy tale romance that will provide for us the savior of humanity. But if you look at it and really break it down, Terminator is a fairy tale romance. That is what that film is. It has the elements of like a horror movie, but it also has the elements of a fairy tale. And this film is one of the 2 times Cameron addresses a parental love story. This is a love story between Ripley and her daughter. Early on in the film, we are told, I watched the special edition, that's the only way I kind of watch these anymore, this film anyway. I much prefer the special edition, but it works either way. You have Ripley early on in the film learn that her daughter, whom she promised to be back on her, I think it was 11th birthday, has since died in the 57 years that Ripley had been floating off in space between alien and aliens. And Ripley is devastated by the loss of her daughter. When going to the planet where the alien first emerged in her life and trying to take revenge on these beasts, she encounters another little girl and is given a second chance at being the mother that she never could be for her own child. And what you're given is a beautiful, like, little parental love story. And it's strong. It's the strongest element of the film. And that's where some of that anguish and tension is. Because if these characters are getting picked off, even ones that you really, really like, she could get picked off too. And we've already seen what happens to an entire crew that Ripley was the only survivor of when in contact with one alien. Now we have multiples, and we have a lot of people that are actively getting picked off that Cameron has spent the time getting you to be invested in and shown that he is willing to blithely just splash acid in their face and they're gone. You feel like he could possibly do this to this girl. And the anguish and tension that you feel is so strong that you don't really even notice that Aliens is just a kind of carbon copy of Alien, just with a different genre applied to it. It's no longer a horror film, it is an action science fiction war film. And both films start with crew go on planet, find alien, alien goes and picks off crew members one by one until it's just her and it, and her drive is to save somebody, be it a cat or Newt, that she needs in order to feel purpose and get to the end of the film where she has the final showdown with the big bad. Both films are kind of identical in that way, but Cameron's use of character, the bond that you see between Ripley and this little girl in Newt, played excellently by Carrie, Henn, a one and done performance, talk about a mic drop there, is enough to mask the similarities between these two films. And this is something that Cameron is just really good at. Not only is he good at writing character and getting you invested in them, even if they're kind of caricature kind of characters, which you could argue that Hudson and Vasquez and Hicks to some extent are all that, yes. But he's really good at tethering you with this pseudo love story, as he will do with The Abyss, which we will address next month, and T2 with another parental love story, True Lies, where he kind of talks about a family, broken family or near broken family, or family with secrets. The broken family is more The Abyss. And that he'll do with Titanic and the two avatars hereafter. This is what he's good at, and he just knows how to mask the love stories behind excellent genre. So anyway, Aliens is a phenomenal film, far better than the first. Check down my full review for Aliens in the description box down below. And thanks for watching. Happy Father's Day, everybody. Like, subscribe, do all that good stuff, and see you next month when we talk about James Cameron's The Abyss. Peace, everybody.